So this stupid dumb fuck, Dan May, this is a man from the 4th Judicial Circuit, the 4th Judicial District of Colorado. There's one of 22 judicial districts, and the 4th Judicial District serves El Paso and Teller counties. There's actually a whole bunch of judges there, too. Gilbert Martinez, William Bain, Eric Bentley, Linda Billings, Jill Brady, Robin Chittum, Teresa Cisneros, Jan DuBois, David A. Gilbert, Deborah J. Goes, Barbara Hughes, Thomas K. Kane, Robert L. Lowry, Michael P. McHenry, G. David Miller, David Prince, Marla Prudek, Timothy J. Schutz, Larry E. Schwartz, Scott Sells, David Shakes, and Greg Warner. Okay, so Dan May went ahead and made some controversial comments, right? He's trying to make a name out for himself, and so he went off and just flew off, off the handle. They got diarrhea of the mouth. And he says, after this one event, and I'll tell you about the event in a minute, that marijuana is the gateway to homicide. Now, the reason why I listed all those judges, well, those are just the judges, right? They're all getting $100,000 in order to judge and preside over Colorado City, or Colorado Springs. And how many district attorneys are there? How many state's attorneys are there in Colorado Springs? So, perhaps it's not the marijuana that's the gateway to homicide. Perhaps it's the rogue bands of unaccountable militia that's running around that gets the prosecutors and judges to cover their asses. Perhaps it's the cop tails wagging the prosecutor, judge, judicial dog. Perhaps that's the gateway to homicide, if we're just going to be spouting off at the mouth, right? The white-collar mafia, the judges, the prosecutors, they cover up the cops' crimes. How many people has Dan May? How many non-violent people has Dan May? How many of their lives has he ruined? And they're naturally oppressors, right? Prosecutors, judges, they're the the hierarchy. In terms of hierarchy, they're the ones that press down and get their way. Do we need them? Yeah, somewhat for civilization, but I feel like it's, I don't know. So there's definitely a problem here. Okay, so I want to just talk about Dan May and this stupid-ass comment that what the fuck he said, okay? So he's saying that marijuana is the gateway to homicide. Even his own statistic actually goes the opposite, right? Contradicts what he says. His own stat was, out of the last 22 homicides that have happened, 8 of them had to do with marijuana. I don't know if he was saying they're high or if it had to do with the, illegal black market or what he's talking about, but 8 of 22. Let's just pretend that that's true. I don't have his numbers, where's he coming up with this shit? But let's just take it at face value, okay? 8 of 22 homicides had something to do with marijuana, and then that's what led to the homicide. So that means, okay, first of all, there's only 22 homicides, so out of millions, that's not too bad. Every murder is horrible, so I'm not trying to, but 22, okay, 22, and then 8 of them have to do with marijuana. So that leaves, what, 14? So the majority of the homicides has nothing to do with marijuana whatsoever. So, no, marijuana is not the gateway to homicide. Something else is. Because the majority of his own statistics, 14 of 22 of the homicides had nothing to do with marijuana. So, Dan May, you being the smart motherfucker that you are, going around and spouting your mouth, why did they kill? Why did they murder? If marijuana is the gateway to homicide, well, hell, they had nothing to do with marijuana. Why are they killing? Let's be honest. Murder has nothing to do with marijuana whatsoever. In fact, they're polar opposites. The marijuana, if everybody smoked a joint, we would have world fucking peace. Marijuana would stop somebody from doing some crazy, fucking shit. They are the polar opposites. So this fucking asshole, man, I feel sorry for the people that, have to fucking deal with this guy, Dan May, Colorado Springs. So we legalized marijuana 5 years ago, but there's still some assholes that want to roll back the clock, some counter-revolutionaries. And we gotta, we gotta watch out for these assholes. So let's back up. Now, we're not even talking about any events that have to do with homicide. The reason why Dan May is even talking about any of this is because of the story that KKTV had run. And this is an article here, Black Market Marijuana Bust Leaves Bruises on Colorado's Marijuana Industry, Colorado Springs. I don't see an author, so I just assume that it's the editorial, right? This is KKTV is backing this shit up. So what's the, there was no murder, there was no homicide. Why the fuck is Dan May even saying this shit? Well, there's an incident that had happened, and then they asked a public official for his quote, and now he's, trying to make hay out of this incident. Okay, so now let's talk about the incident. Okay, so he made these comments a while ago. This incident is about a week ago. There's 13 people that have been indicted in a case, including Hops Crops owners. So there's a marijuana retail store, a head shop, and it's called Hops Crops. And these people, 13 people have been indicted. And they've been indicted by the Attorney General Cynthia Kaufman. Remember that name, Cynthia Kaufman. She's the Attorney General. She's the Jeff Sessions of Colorado. The reason why you should remember Cynthia Kaufman, because she's got an election next year. And she's going to have to win the primary, and she's going to have to win the general election. So this is going to be an uphill battle. Why are you going after, this kind of shit? Listen to this, okay? So this is, out of her own mouth, a quote by Cynthia Kaufman. They are alleged to have conspired to purchase medical marijuana from licensed facilities and then resell it for profit under the guise of the marijuana being offered as a free giveaway with the purchase of a low-cost item at a dramatically inflated price. There's some things I really don't like. They've restricted marijuana plants down to 18. It used to be 99 plants, now you can only raise 18. And then they have all these extra rules, so many fucking extra regulations. I understand you want to regulate shit, but back the fuck up off of marijuana. Back the fuck up, man. Fuck, it's legal now. It's legal now. And actually, the war on drugs has been producing how many non-violent offenders? The war on drugs still going strong, and the persecution of marijuana still going strong. Let me step down from the soapbox, some details to this case. Okay, so in Colorado Springs, you got this head shop, Hops Crops, and what they were doing is they would buy marijuana from a medical facility, probably legally, right, through their cards and shit. That's how you have to buy it in Colorado Springs. They would buy the marijuana, and then they would sell lighters, and they said they would sell lighters at an inflated price, and then you would get a free giveaway of marijuana in order to buy, you bought the lighter, here's a free giveaway. And they're sitting there saying, well, that's some shady shit. Oh my God, what are they doing there? They're paying their employees under the table. Okay, is it criminal? I don't know. I'd like to, actually, I give them a pass, just because I understand the culture that is, our collective world, our nationalistic world. So it says they sell cheap cigarette lighters at a high price while offering 1 gram of marijuana for free. So they would sell a lighter for $15. That was only worth 5 cents. I don't know. Are lighters only worth 5 cents? 5 cents. I've never seen any lighters for maybe $1, okay? So, I don't know, they're exaggerating already. And then they would give away 1 gram of marijuana. So they're essentially saying, in order to get around the laws, right? They're getting around the laws. They're pulling a Trump, right? Just, hey, let this go. Are you telling me to stop investigating? Are you obstructing justice? No, no, no. No, I just said let this go. What do you mean? So they're selling these $15 lighters, and then they're giving some marijuana there too. What the fuck does this have to do with the government? I think that, there should be no fucking problem, no fucking issue. It's like the grid almost, like the electricity. I mean, as long as we're paying the goddamn government in order to give us electricity, they're all about that. But the moment that you get solar panels and start to become independent, they get all pissed about that. Hey, we can't collect taxes on marijuana like that. So, why don't you be more liberal with fucking licensing these goddamn shops? Okay, they broke the law. You know, I still pardon them, but let's see what they charged them with, right? So that's what they're paying people under the table, right? So they're getting out of taxes, just like our president, right? He's smart. He's smart by getting out of taxes. That's a smart guy. And then, you know, the $15 lighters. So they're selling $15 lighters, right? So now what? They're going to go to fucking prison for years? For years. So, the defendants operating in plain sight. Let's see. As of 5 p.m., some were arrested, yet others haven't turned themselves in. Oh, okay. The defendants are charged with the violations of the Colorado Organized Crime Control Act. Money laundering, evasion of taxes, attempting to influence a public servant, possession of intent to manufacture, distribute marijuana. It's not really legal here, is it? In fact, there's like half of Colorado where the towns and municipalities have not legalized it. They passed laws to shut that shit down. Pueblo tried to do that, but not only did the people of Pueblo vote for the legalization in Colorado, but they doubled down and said, yes, here in the city of Pueblo, we're going to have legal marijuana. The retail shops get to stay here and, you know, say la fucking vie. Smoke a joint. Let's get some world peace here in Pueblo. Let's change some shit. That's another thing, too. The legalization of marijuana is about freedom. The legalization about marijuana is about freedom, about liberation. Dan May doesn't understand that. As an oppressor, he's got to kill the very thing that he's controlling. He's got to make a human into a tool in order for him to love that person. An oppressor has killed their victim long before they actually die. So his oppressive ways is, again, the exact opposite. Marijuana seeks to liberate us, and it's a freedom. It's a personal freedom. So one is about liberty. One is about freedom. Hungry, happy, sleepy. That's what Cat Williams says, and he's absolutely right. Hungry, happy, sleepy. Those are the side effects, and that's it. Hungry, happy, sleepy. So you think they're going to be a gateway to homicide? Why? Because they ate all your damn cookies and cream cereal? Is that why? They all ate all of your saltine crackers and then they, you know, got a nap at noon? Oh my God, look at him. He's sleeping on the couch after eating all my damn cereal. And he was laughing and giggling the whole damn time. Yeah, that's making of a fucking psychopath, isn't it? No, I don't think so, Dan May. You're the fucking psycho, man. So I just, you know, not only do I think that their crime, quote-unquote crime, isn't that big a deal, I would pardon them. The fact that they're going after Organized Crime Control Act, organized crime, money laundering, evasion of taxes, money laundering. They are throwing the dumbest shit and then attempting to influence a public servant. What, like bribing them, legalize bribery, which is, you know, how American elections operate all over the place. And that attempting to influence a public servant, possession with the intent to manufacture or distribute marijuana. So there it is. We're still prosecuting marijuana. This is Cynthia Kaufman. She's got her name written all over this damn thing. And I don't give a shit about it. Okay, so now enter Dan May. Fucking Dan May, the state's attorney, the district attorney, the DA, right? The state's attorney. He gets $100,000 per year, and that's still not enough, right? He's got to justify himself somehow. He needs to keep up eating up all these damn potheads and, get the system to eat him up and spit him back out so he can make another cool $100,000. So this thing happened in Colorado Springs. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. And $15 lighters being paid under the table. I worked in the tobacco industry and I got paid under the table. And, that's, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a criminal. Oh, I admitted to this. I think it was like fucking 20 years ago. So statute of limitations, motherfuckers. But, is it, you find something, okay, what would I do if I came across this, right? You got laws on the books, so what do you do? Well, they're being paid under the table. Well, you got to start paying them above the table now, okay? Now, here's a warning. You're not allowed to do that. It's illegal. We know, we're paying attention. Fix this within a week or two. The other thing, $15 lighters, and then they're, selling marijuana right next to it. Well, Colorado Springs hasn't full-blown legalized it yet. Colorado Springs is still like dilly-dallying, still tiptoeing, walking a tightrope. Some people saying it's illegal, it's not illegal. There's a guy saying that if we legalize marijuana in Colorado Springs, then the military bases would leave. The military bases would just leave, and then all those jobs and and the guy was right. No, that's fucking bullshit. That is bullshit. The military, we got a military base here in Pueblo, right? The depot, a chemical depot where we're storing all the sarin gas and all these, biological warfare agents. So there's people that work there. So no, marijuana has not, just because a state legalizes marijuana doesn't mean the military just leaves the state. Is that what the fuck people in the city councilman or whoever said that? So everybody in Colorado and Washington, right? All the military bases just going to leave because, well, no, they've legalized freedom. They've legalized freedom. And it would bring us world peace. World peace, freedom. These are the things that Dan May is against. That's why Dan May has to he's talking shit. And people could just talk shit, right? Just make up shit and be like, well, you know what? Marijuana makes you poop in your pants and then you slide on that poop going down a hill. It's what I heard. You could just say shit like that, but since he's a public official and is, getting all these rounds, some marijuana group shot back at him saying, show us the fucking evidence. And what you're saying is very dangerous. You have no evidence for what you're saying and, fuck you, basically. So, yeah, marijuana is a gateway drug to homicide. No, marijuana is a gateway drug to a brand new world. A brand new America. One who embraces freedom. And is in favor of world fucking peace. Cannabis gardens. That's the heart of my Kentucky dream. America dream too, right? So, Dan May, be honest, that's what you're really against? Freedom? Because you're a prosecutor, right? You want to, be fucking tough when the cop beats somebody up, some non-violent pothead, poor Dan May. He's been a fucking prosecutor for who knows how long. But if he was there before marijuana legalization, a cop could beat up a pothead, and then they walk into court and he just act like, I don't have to listen to you at all. They'll say, hey, please give me mercy. No, I will not give you mercy. I'm Mr. Dan May. I'm the fucking powerhouse here. And that is the tail wagging the dog, having a rogue militia and then a bunch of fucking pussified prosecutors and judges that just back up what they do. Unfortunately, a lot of times, it seems like the Dan Mays of the world, they can go after good, obedient, lawful people, non-violent people, but when there's a true blue fucking criminal, like James Holmes, you can't get a death penalty on them, right? When it comes to true blue criminals, cops can pull over a little old man for speeding, 2 miles over the speed limit and give him hell. He's like, you little old man, he's nice, he's kind, he's saying thank you, and the officers just feel so fucking strong, right? They love to punch down. They don't give a shit, right? They don't give a shit if he's old or skinny or little. In fact, they like that because they know that they can kick their ass. But a big, strong, bulky man, oh, they're scared of that person. That's what happened to Philando Castile, right? It was just a black man. Oh, hey, black man. Hey, I got to carry concealed. What? Pow, 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 pow. Yeah, little old men, you could fucking, all day long, harass the shit out of them. But when it comes to true blue criminals, which is what the fuck prosecutors and judges and cops should be focused on, the murders, the rapes, the violence, stealing. These are the worst evils in society. Those are the things that the cops should be focused on. All right. So, a brand new America. This is what Dan May is against. Dan May is a fucking douchebag. He's just spouting off at the mouth. He's getting some news coverage. That's who he is. And he just showed the world who he is. He's showing the world his ass. And when a person tells you who they are, believe them. Dan May is dumb, stupid, douchebag, oppressor, who doesn't, he's stupid, he spouts off lies, and he's got an agenda. Fuck Dan May. Dan May, okay? So I went ahead and posted this story on my Facebook feed, and then one of my friends, Darlene, she said, yep, She's, a pothead. She's been smoking pot for 20 years, and she's got a whole pile of bodies in her basement. And that's the point. The reason why that's funny is because it's so absurd. That's so absurd. Potheads, hungry, happy, sleepy. Hey, man, what you want to do, man? Hey, you want to go just shoot people up for no reason, man? No, you don't want to do that. You love people, Hey, man, you want to go get some yogurt with sprinkles? Let's get yogurt and sprinkles and come on, man. Oh, my God, man. That's what potheads are like. That's what potheads are like. To sit there and say potheads are so fucking chill. They're so fucking chill. That's the personality of potheads. Happy-go-lucky, maybe infinitely positive to a fault, perhaps, but not murderous, aggressive, rampaging psychopaths. Weed leads to murder. Jesus fucking Christ, man. So, real quick, I was just looking at some research, and I checked out the Columbine shooters, and I checked out the Aurora shooters. I was like, well, is there, are they connected with marijuana? I was hoping they had no connection whatsoever. Be like, look, they killed, but they both were smokers of marijuana, or they had smoked it at one time. One of the Columbine shooters had smoked weed at one time, and then James Holmes had smoked weed at one time. But neither one of those two instances were they high during the shooting. So they didn't get high and be like, God, this marijuana, it has altered my brain to a level to where I'm going to go do some crazy shit. Marijuana's not fucking alcohol, Dan May. Alcohol drives you out of your fucking mind. When you're wasted on alcohol, you don't even know who the fuck you are. You're getting beat up and pushed and peed on, and you don't even know you blacked out. You blacked out. If you get wasted on marijuana, you fall asleep. That's the worst you get. You don't get crazy, rambunctious. It does lessen inhibitions, so perhaps it could allow someone to do something that they wanted to do prior to smoking it. But let's, if we actually want to talk about why do people murder? Let's talk about that. Why do people actually murder? So neither one of the Columbine shooters, one of the Columbine shooters didn't do marijuana at all. One of them did before the Aurora shooter did, but they weren't high during the shooting. So marijuana did not lead to that homicide. I would put that in a group of, they did not murder because of marijuana. That was, James Holmes didn't smoke weed and then said, let's go shoot up this theater. No, that's not the chain of events that happened. James Holmes was a sadistic psychopath who just liked hurting people just because he enjoyed it. Just like Dan May enjoys throwing non-violent offenders into jail. He just loves it. He just loves that. So when I think about what are the reasons, what could be the motivations, let's actually have, a brief moment of levity here. So why do people kill other people? Why? The Columbine shooters had conservative parents. Is that the disease? Being born into a restraining conservative ideology? Perhaps that's the gateway to homicide. Conservatives are restrictive, limiting, they're oppressive, they don't listen or truly care. Oppressors kill those they love in order to turn them into tools to be manipulated. So, I'm throwing some of these things out there just to throw the shit right back at them. Does a conservative ideology? Maybe, but not by itself. I don't know. Oppressors have killed their loyal, obedient followers spiritually, emotionally, mentally, long before they actually kill them. But let's be serious, right? Let's be serious, okay? So no, that's not why people kill. People kill for lots of different reasons, right? They kill out of anger. Somebody hurts them. They kill out of justice. People that are in favor of the death penalty. I would be in favor of James Holmes being killed by the death penalty because of what he did. It would be justice, an eye for an eye. So that's, people that are in favor of the death penalty, there is a murderous impulse there, right? Isn't that what the people against the death penalty say? That we are better than the murderers, so we don't murder the murderers, and the state, having state-sanctioned murder, right? So that's one reason. One reason to kill James Holmes is because he's a fucking murderer, eye for an eye, for justice. You can kill somebody out of jealousy. You could kill somebody, some sort of love thing, right? So anger, jealousy, justice. there's a lot of things, but why would someone just cold-blooded murder somebody? Why would someone pull a James Holmes? Why would somebody pull a Columbine? I think these are two good cases. Jeffrey Dahmer, why did he do what he did? You know, why do people kill? I think for someone to murder in a civilized society, knowing that they're going to get shot on the scene or go to jail and they're going to have all this shit that happens to them, they must be suicidal too. So to murder somebody, you must not give a shit about your own life. Well, there's step one. You don't feel loved. You're not being loved. You're alienated. So they don't care what happens to themselves. So therefore, they don't care what happens to anybody else. That could be it. Or they could be just, you know, maybe they've been loved too much. Maybe they have too much love. If they got too much love, then they're spoiled. And then they just, you know, it's like having a cat just to be able to pet it, but not actually appreciating its life. And, you know, it's different to take care of somebody versus enjoying someone's company. So the person who murders in civilized society knows that they could be popped during the altercation. They could be shot. The Columbine shooters, they killed themselves, so they were suicidal to begin with. James Holmes narrowly missed the firing squad by one female juror, so he didn't get the death penalty. But he very much could have. So I think there is a suicidal element to that. I also believe, why do people murder? What turns people into monsters? Well, it's easy just to judge someone and say, well, that's, you know, atrocious. But unfortunately, I think these fucking monsters show an ugly side to humanity. And it's easier just to dismiss them, but to actually get into the nitty gritty and find what, you know, what makes them tick. What turned Jeffrey Dahmer into a monster? He liked to torture and kill cats. So he enjoyed torturing and killing cats, and then he moved on to bigger prey, but he enjoyed it. It was a sadistic pleasure. He was turned on by hurting them cats. He was turned on by hurting people. He raped 2 U.S. soldiers when he was in the U.S. Army. Jeffrey Dahmer raped and he killed and molested and he cannibalized his victims. He didn't give a shit about his victims. He had no empathy, which is a major defining characteristic in a psycho. Having no empathy. And we're a society being run by psychopaths. What did Dahmer do? I mean, why did Dahmer do what he did? Because he liked it. Dahmer was sadistic. He enjoyed the power he had over others. He liked hurting them cats and the victims. He got a sexual thrill. In fact, Dahmer got a sexual thrill out of his violence towards humanity. He would get a kill boner. It turned him on to hurt people. He loved it. Columbine shooters, they murdered their peers. One seemed to loved it, but the other one just seemed like he was probably just lonely. He had college. He had, you know, a future. So just someone needed to listen to him. Someone needed to authentically give a shit. James Holmes had a grand old time shooting up innocents in a movie theater like shooting fish in a barrel. So what a fucking sick coward. But he liked it. That's what is the gateway to being a human. Being a sadistic human who there's a good wolf and a bad wolf in every single one of us. And which one wins? The one that you feed. The one that you feed. Whether they smoked pot in the past is irrelevant. They also ate food. They breathed oxygen. They would go on walks. You know, they would drive to get to places. So if we're being serious about trying to figure out what motivates evil people to do wicked shit to other people, well, I would say that most people would not blame that James Holmes was an eater who breathed oxygen and he would go on walks. That's not the reason. But he did those things. But that's not the reason that he killed people. Some people are crazy, but I believe in William Glasser, and he says 95% of seemingly crazy behavior is because the person couldn't communicate to somebody that they loved. And that's it. They want to talk to somebody that they love. They couldn't, so they acted out in a seemingly irrational behavior. So if we know the motivation and we know the reason, then we can solve this thing. We can actually get solutions to these problems instead of just exacerbating it and, you know, making a fucking mountain out of a molehill and then now it's just a big shit show. Marijuana would calm a person down if they thought about doing something rash. Hungry, happy, sleepy. If everybody smoked a fucking joint and just chilled the fuck out, we'd have world peace. World fucking peace. Personal freedom. This is the things that Dan May is actually against. He's an anti-marijuana baby boomer. He's been a dick to good people his entire life. He's a psychopath. He's the one that you must look out for. How many non-violent people's lives has this 4th Judicial State's Attorney ruined. Every single one of us has a good, polite side to us and a vicious, mean side to us. We can help others, or we can be cruel to them, or we can ignore them. So at any moment, we got 3 options. We can choose goodness, we can choose evil, or complacency. When we choose good and we continue to do good works, works that help others, works that helps yourself, we build up our integrity. But another thing, wicked, fascist assholes, criminal, murderous, psychopaths, the thing that these shitty people do for the rest of us is it shows us who we don't want to be like. No, I don't want to be like that. The man who killed Dahmer in prison felt like that. He was revolted by what Dahmer was doing. And then Dahmer was cutting his food into little legs and arms and then splashing ketchup all over it just to taunt the inmates. He looked at Dahmer and he was sickened. He was revolted by what he did. And that's the same reason we as a society believe in the death penalty. I think James Holmes deserves the same fate for the same reason. I can't look at that motherfucker in his face. James Holmes, yeah, you could shoot a bunch of folks at a movie theater without any problems. You could do that. And you did. Congratulations. You know, you were successful in your mission. But why? Why the fuck would he do something like that? You're not cool. It's sick. And it's fucking barbaric. And it's disgusting. And it's because he was evil. It's because he was evil. He wrote it in his fucking diary. He wanted to be evil. He didn't care for goodness. He wanted notoriety. He was selfish. He wanted to have a good old time slaughtering innocent folks. He didn't care about his own life. So, that's sick and revolting, and it's hard to look at these monsters. But just to be so flippant about how homicides go down. James Holmes did not kill anybody because he had smoked a joint 5 fucking years ago. Columbine didn't happen because somebody smoked a joint. One of the 2 smoked a joint, so the other one didn't even smoke a joint. So one of the Columbine shooters had no association with marijuana whatsoever. And then Jeffrey Dahmer, I don't even know if he had, what his relationship with marijuana is. But I guarantee you, these are not the things that's leading to what they're doing. It's a human impulse. And for some reason, these people fed the bad wolf. They fed the bad wolf. So, that's, I guess that's my 2 cents there. And Dan May, you're a dumb fucking douchebag, and shut your fucking mouth, man. If you're a district attorney, if you're a goddamn state's attorney and you're talking this dumb shit, I wonder how many people you're still fucking over today. No, potheads are not the fucking enemy. Potheads could hippies, the dirty fucking hippies were right. They provided the alternative. What kind of society can we have? Well, we can have peace, love, and freedom. Or pure fascism. We could just do fascism. Fuck it, right? Oh, you're smoking a joint? Let's beat the fuck out of that guy. Fascism. Fuck fascism.